Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of The Big Shift. My next guest has a fascinating story. His father, half-brother and cousin were unfortunately murdered in a famous mob hit back in 1995. I'm going to introduce this special man in a minute. Hi guys, nice to see you here again. God bless, and I hope you're okay out there. Everything's going well for you. On The Big Shift, we have unbelievable stories of endurance, adversity, and fascination. One of the wonderful things the Big Shift team like to put out to you guys is the solutions to a lot of ways of life. My next guest has an unbelievable story of adversity. He was a mafia capo in the Philadelphia mob, which is still one of the most active mafia groups in the country, guys. He has an unbelievable story of transformation. We're going to get to that in a minute. But listen, thank you all the guys who are going into the subscription model and, you know, go in there and buying the book, The Monkey Puzzle Tree. It's definitely our aim to empower you guys and get you forward on your own exponential journey. You know, so thank you for that. So look, I'm going to go straight into it now. My next guest is a wonderful Bobby Luisi. Hi, Bobby. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, Steve. This is a great show. I've been watching you for a little while. You know, I'm really honored to be here with you.
Bobby, absolutely. And look, you know, I've said this, I've done content on this. In places like that, you know, or even in that life, you know, this life of organized crime, serious crime, doesn't matter how big and bad you are on all this, whatever, that's just rubbish. Serious people know when they actually live this life and know anyone can kill you. The smallest guy, if he catches you wrong and sets you up, that's it. It's over. There's no big, strong, and all of this as such. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
So prison, it's a place you can't go nowhere. You can't, and you know, I was involved in a lot of violence in prison and stuff like that. It's about survival. It's about doing the best you can. It's about keeping your name. It's about keeping a code of conduct and looking after your friends. But these environments are very tough, right? Mm-hmm. They're very tough. They're very primitive, basic human instincts going on there that has no rhyme or reason. It's just basically survival. That's why I asked you that question, because it's interesting. And what I always tell people with me, even now, is look, your heart qualities are, you know, are everything. But you keep that behind your shield. You don't need to prove to yourself you're a good person. If you're a good person, you're a good person. But you keep that behind your shield. That doesn't mean you don't have to do what you have to do if you have to respond really seriously to something, because this is a boundary. Some people have a real conflict with this, Bob, because they don't know how to translate it. They really don't.
I know, and you know that, you know, for years I taught in prison and I taught these guys and I had my theology classes, you know, and I try to tell them, you know, Steve, we live in the world. This is Satan's world. God is in our hearts, right? Now, the conflict with the soul and the spirit, like I talked about in the flesh before, you know, we're still men. I know what my capabilities are. I never want to hurt anybody again. Never want to raise my hand to anybody. I don't even like conflict and get into arguments. I don't like to do that. But I still have this problem with disrespect with people, you know, and it's all psychological in psychology, because from all my studies and everything I did, you know, if you try to walk a straight line as a Christian every day, you're going to get slapped in the face. You got to stand on your ground. You have to be a man, but you also have to have love in your heart.
Yeah.
See, when Christ comes in your heart, Steve.
Look, you know, another thing I say to people, Bobby, on this, and you know, I train a lot of people. I coach a lot, even executives. You know, some really unbelievable. You'll be surprised some of the things they struggle with. But I like to make it really simple, and I say, look, anyone who you think would be a great person, or whoever, or has done something pioneering or wonderful, or you will see that in their story, they was ridiculed.
Mm-hmm.
They was traumatized. They had a hard road. People tried to block them. They got a lot of envy, jealousy. They was dragged through the streets. The difference is how much pain we can take and our perseverance, and that we hold to our course, our purpose, and doing the right thing. This is not an easy thing to do, but it's quite simple. It's the world comes in. It's our response to it, Bob. Look, another thing about conflicts, because this is really important, and I know people are going to really get the stuff out of this, is, look, so you come out of prison. I know you had a lot of profound stuff go on in there, and I'd like to invite you back another time, and we'll talk about this at another time. But when you come out, then you're faced with more conflict. This is another example, because I knew that with Joey Murillo and, Bugazzi, they was up on trial. Now, you said you was going to take the stand, but then you reneged. You said, no, I'm not going to take the stand. I'm not going to do that. And you didn't do that. Right. What happened with that?
Well, what happened, the government came to me. I'll tell you a story and why I did what I did. When I got picked up on that charge, me and Joey got picked up the same day. I think they picked 11 of us up from Philly to Boston on those drug charges. I was fine. I said, all right, I'm going to get a break. I was looking at 10 to 12 if I took a plea, which I can handle. That's not a problem, and that's what I was looking to do at the time. And I found out a good friend of mine, my old partner, was in there. He said, Bobby, he said, I heard there's murder indictments coming down. Did you talk to your lawyer? So I got my lawyer, Jack. And at that time, when I got pinched, Marty Bedreau was an AUSA in Boston. He had retired from there, and he went into my lawyer's firm. So 2 weeks later, when I told him what I heard, he came back with Marty, and he said, Bobby, on this case, I could get you 10 to 12. Now, he's a federal prosecutor, retired. He said, but you got a problem because there's a murder, I don't know if it was one or two, that all your friends turned on you. They're all flipping on you. And they're laughing up there because they got you cold. I says, he told me I didn't get indicted on that murder because the Merlino case was open, so they wanted to indict me on that first. And when the grand jury changed, they were going to come and indict me with murder one, that I had no way to escape. It was a decision that I had to make. Now, it had nothing to do with the Philly guys. I would have never did anything against them. But the Boston guys that I ran with, they all told on me because they're all facing a lot of time. They want to get out. This is when I say now the mob's over in Omerta and La Cosa Nostra. It's all nonsense now, Now it's every man for themselves. So they asked me about 3 murders and they wanted the caliber of guns that we used. And I told them. And my lawyer brought that back to them. And right away, boom, they brought me up there. The ballistics matched. And I had a queen for the day. And I talked with them, and pretty much told me what I was facing. But if I come with them now, I'll be looking at 10 years. They'll take 5 off and I'll end up doing 60 months. During the course of talking with them, with these 302s and all these meetings that I had with them, negotiations started breaking down with them. I didn't have it in my heart to be a rat. I really couldn't do it, Steve. It's something to sit up there and these guys that you love and you got to look at them, There was even one point they said, you want to go retroactive? We'll put you on the street with a wire and let you out. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to jam up my cousins and my friends and my guys and my crew. I can't do that, So that didn't work out. And then negotiations broke down. And I ended up going to about 6 status hearings. And the government said, we're not going to give him a 5K1. So I was able to rip the plea deal up and go back to my original indictment with the cocaine, which was a 20-year charge. And I went to trial on that twice. And I lost twice. But the second time I went to trial, I think it was 2006, Paulie, they changed the guidelines in the federal government.
Yeah.
And I fell through the cracks, and they took 47 months off the sentence. And I got out in 2013. So I didn't rat on them, Steve.
Yeah.
You know, to finish the story, because I know the question you asked and what happened with me. One of my guys were involved in the Ghana art heist in 1990. And he was with me after that happened. And he told me about where the art was buried. They came to me before I was getting out to tell me, the FBI, that I was getting subpoenaed to a trial for this Rico Ponzo that they caught. They wanted to know what my plans were and where I was going. So I brushed them off. And then they called me about the artwork. Then they came back to me again, the feds, and they said, listen, we'll put you in the program. We'll change your name, set you up again. And in my heart, I don't think I was ready to go back to Boston, Steve. You know, I think I could have turned pretty fast if I did, to be honest with you. So I says, all right, I'll take that deal. And I end up taking that deal. I didn't testify against anybody. I was already subpoenaed to the trial that I went to. It wouldn't have mattered. And I wasn't going to plead the fifth for this guy. I was looking to kill him in the street. I wasn't putting myself back in prison for this scumbag, you know?
You see, this is another, thanks to that, Bob, because this is another example of how this stuff translates, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the cold light of day. So let's go on. You know, I mean, in Boston in them days, I mean, another guy I've talked to, he's a good guy, Anthonyarillotta.
Oh, yeah, great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, Anthony. You know, he's got another story. You know, people can judge or whatever, but, you know, Anthony has his own truth. He's there in Boston. I've interviewed him. You know, the content's there. You can go there, you know, make up your own judgments about what you think, right? But listen to what people have to say. You know, this is what I say. So, you know, the content is there. You know, like, did you know Anthony back in the day? I mean, I know another guy, you know, another good friend of mine, John A-Line.
Oh yeah, great
John
guy.
and John and Anthony then in them days. At all?
What happened when I'm building my family, my crew, I was going down to Springfield. In the Springfield area, the Genovese, they from there to Connecticut and then to Western Massachusetts. And me, in my mind, I feel that's mine and I want a piece of it. So I started going down there. At that time, Al Bruno was the boss. They had shelved Anthony. So when I went down there and I got really close with Anthony, they said, Anthony, come with me. I'll give you a button, you know, and I'll put some guys under you down here. He says, you know, Bobby, I want to stay loyal to the Genovese. So now, as this is all going on, you know, I get pinched. Anthony's still Anthony was still on the street at that time, and I get pinched. And then I found out later that Anthony got made with the Genovese family. But what happened, I was in with Big John, the guy that actually ratted on him. Everything Anthony tell you was very accurate. Anthony's telling you 100%. That's the way it went down, you know? And what they did with Anthony was wrong with this John coming down. You know, I was with the guy, you know, a little Italian, the guy's a Gavone. I was in Alamo with him for like 13 months. I think he passed away now. And I'm saying, how did they send this shrooms down to Anthony and these guys in Springfield? You know, it was like, how can I say it? Adi knew he was a rat. He was told, you send them down there, you're a boss, you send them down to your guys. You know, it's just a bad story. And I agree 100% what Anthony did, 150%.
Make sure to subscribe, like, go into stephengillen.com and sign up for more wonderful content to expedite, help, and support you on your own personal journey of success.